Welcome to Ricambi's video on how to replace the rear brake compensator on a Fiat 124 Spider or Spider 2000. The compensator is located behind the right rear wheel, so it will become visible once we remove that wheel. First we spray the connections with some kind of lubricant, and we need a line wrench to try and break them loose, but sometimes they are so tight that even a line wrench doesn't get them. I used some flat jawed vice grips and I was able to break them loose without damaging the nuts. And then we just need to undo both the inlet and outlet of those pipes. Then we need to undo the linkage that connects the compensator to the rear axle. It's a 10mm nut, and just remove the bolt. And then we undo the linkage where it's connected to the body. It's two 10mm bolts that come out pretty easily. Don't forget the plate. It will have to be put back when we are putting everything together. Once the two metal lines are loose, we can undo the bracket that holds the compensator to the body, and then we can remove the compensator from the car. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough room with the bracket in place, so I end up having to remove the bracket from the compensator. It's two 30mm bolts, some fairly short bolts, and just removed the bracket separately. And then the compensator was small enough to be able to pass by the exhaust pipe and be removed. Once the compensator is on the bench, we remove the boot. I just prise off, and it's best to use a new boot when reassembling, and just get the boot out of the way. And then there is a small 8mm bolt that holds the little bracket in place, that holds the rod inside the compensator, and just pull it away, and then the rod can be just pulled out of the compensator. And then there is a bushing. These parts are all available new in case they are worn. It's best to put some anti-seize or some kind of lubricant when putting it back in the new compensator. Just make sure that over the years it's not going to seize up. And then we put the rod back, and then of course the little bracket will hold this in. Put the screw back, 8mm little machine screw or bolt. Don't over tighten it, these break pretty easily. And then put the boot back. I ended up reusing this boot, but would have been better to use a new one. Trying to use the screwdriver as little as possible, just to make sure that the boot doesn't get damaged, and just use a zip tie to hold it on. Putting it back is kind of the reverse. I have to get the compensator past the exhaust, and then need to put the bracket on. It's a little bit difficult to work in that confined space, but it's not too horrible. At least we can see what we are doing. Try to start the line nuts to go into the compensator with the bracket attached and about in place, but they weren't lining up, so I ended up removing the bracket so the compensator can move more freely, then starting the line nuts, cinching them up, then put the bracket back, bolted it to the car, then tightened the line nuts fully. Once everything is tightened, don't forget to adjust the position of the compensator based on the diagram in the service manual.